102 Jams. Listen to me every day, 3 to 7, playing your best hip-hop and throwbacks. Now back to my boys Bonte and Shasky right here on 95.7 The Game.
This is always fun. When you look at the Comcast business text line, and 424 is always taking shots at Shasky and I read them. I don't care. But Jason, are Bonte and Shasky softer than Howard Eskin? I'll answer that for you,
Is
Jason.
Howard soft?
No, he's
No,
saying
not at
we're
all.
softer.
Yeah.
No, he's not soft. We're softer than Howard.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. No.
Are we softer than Howard Eskin?
Look, there's a lovable side to me. Sometimes it doesn't present itself on radio.
Howard Eskin would have been asking questions every single day. What was it like growing up in Philly with Howard and Missinelli and Cataldi?
Oh, they're all personalities. They're all personalities. They've kind of forged their path on the radio. Some has branched off to TV, but Howard Eskin is one of a kind. I had him on Cron 4
I saw that.
for that Niners previewing the Niners Eagles, and I'm like, Howard, you can't talk like that on this side of the country. Like, you can't talk like that.
What did Kapler do to him?
I don't know. Gabe Kapler?
Yeah, because it feels personal.
Oh, well, Cataldi, too.
Why? What did he do?
Every time I bring up Philly to Gabe Kapler, he kind of, next topic, doesn't like talking about
What
Philly.
was it about Kapler that didn't resonate in Philly?
Kapler's like this eccentric, like,
Robot. I think he's a robot.
yeah, Philly needed a little more authenticity.
Gotcha.
And, they did not sync up their personalities.
Yeah.
What did you think of our trip to Philadelphia? This was my third time in Philly. I loved it.
I actually love the town.
Dumas probably didn't like me after the Super Bowl show because we were going.
Yo, honestly, well, first of all, the Super Bowl, like, I was not as disappointed as I thought I was going to be. I kind of just because it was such a surprise run to the Super Bowl. Like,
Right.
obviously, once you got to about 75% into the season, it was like, all right, Super Bowl is a legit.
Right.
Is a legit, but like going into the season, I didn't think Jalen Hurts was making that jump. I wanted to give him a chance, but I didn't think he was going to make that jump. I didn't think they were going to have like a historic defensive line, 70 sacks. Like, it was nuts.
It's wild.
Your guys' trip to Philly, yeah, I was along for the ride. I was watching the videos. I was cracking up at the videos. Here's my thing. Like, with Philly people, like, y'all knew what they were going to do.
Yeah.
So, like, when you wave a camera in front of their face, it's like waving like a steak in front of like a pit bull.
Well, they had their cameras out at us in your face, waiting for you to react to them. It was very weird.
I pulled it out because I was like, man, this is fun. This is us walking into Philadelphia.
Well, and the boss
because like
made
we
us.
walked in, and there's some Eagle fans saying we haven't seen a fan base walk in this deep. We walked from the tailgate.
Oh
We
my
started
God.
wilding out. But once we got to that parking lot, it felt like the walk of shame. And I saw my boy Worldwide Hef. Shout out to Worldwide Hef in the Players Tournament. Ja won the bracket this year. You picked UConn to win it all. I finished in 5th place, humble bracket. I didn't watch a second of college basketball for the tournament. But I saw a dude walk up to Hef and slap his brim and then spear beer around. I was like, oh. And then I found out what Camden meant because one guy, hey, come here. What part of Camden are you from? I didn't know what it meant.
Yeah, Camden's from Jersey.
Yeah.
You're from across the bridge.
Well, I saw the Hassan Reddick piece
that was a really
before
good
the Super
piece.
Bowl, which was really good. But it's like, damn, Cam, okay, that's what the guy meant. Okay, that was
Yeah.
borderline, offensive. But
Right.
It was,
he said where you're from Camden. He assumed you were from Camden.
He's like, what part of Camden are you from? I was in the video, and then people on Twitter was like, well, he's being racist. I didn't know what was going on, but it was definitely different.
Yeah.
I've never been called that many names in my life. And it happened in the bathrooms. It happened on the walk. Didn't really happen on our seats. In our seats, they were like, you guys are the guys on the
they knew who we
radio.
were.
Because I went on the camera show, and he was like, I don't want you guys to die. I was like, hey, we in 116, row 4, Obi.
Right.
They died. Probably wasn't the smartest thing to do.
Look. As someone who is from that city, I can say we take it too far a lot.
I would agree.
We take it too far a lot. But like anywhere, you also have to try to look in the middle. You're gonna have those ruthless idiots.
Yes.
That I argue with when I'm in Philly too. Like, that's the funny thing too. Like, we all unite when we're at like an Eagles game or a Sixers game. But I might be at the bar like on just like a random Saturday when a game's not playing, and that same a-hole who asked you where he's from Camden's running his mouth, and then you gotta get in his face, tell him to shut up.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Philly, we wear our emotions on our sleeves, and I mean, you guys might not experience that, but like even during the NBA Finals last year in Boston, like I saw some stuff where I was just like, "Yo, this is nuts."
Yeah.
Jason, I sat up there by myself. I was the only Warrior fan in the entire spot where I was at. The language was wild.
Oh, resonating.
Wild.
F you, Draymond, resonating.
No,
Resonating.
the whole game,
That was
every
wild.
time he touched it, old ladies, double birds in my face screaming, "Screw you, Draymond," but obviously the more explicit version.
Now, look,
It was nuts.
I'm far from sensitive, but the one thing that I didn't like about that NBA Finals with Boston, leave family members out of it.
No, I agree with that.
Even if you
Yes,
think it was,
yes.
even if it's a little
I
like just
agree.
playful jab, like the Aisha Curry can't cook shirts, like,
Right.
come on.
It's a little, to me, it's like,
Don't
you don't
talk
even have
about-
to go that far.
Right.
Don't talk about my wife.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if it's a playful jab, like
Exactly.
just don't talk about
Well, that's
my wife.
an
'cause
entire
you're
media
kinda-
outlet.
You're kind of getting,
Yes.
Right.
you're going off that exit
Yup.
where, like, just don't talk about my wife.
So
Yeah, that was all-
now that
that
we're
was
on the
out of
fan
pocket.
thing, I find this fascinating because you've been obviously on the East Coast. You're from Syracuse. You said you were down in LA. When you look at the way each team is represented, Warriors, Giants, Niners, in terms of those three, how are they different? The fan bases, how is the coverage different? Because we've talked a lot about the Giants fan and how they're covered. Like how are you breaking those down?
It feels like we treat the Giants with kid gloves, but we go hard at the Warriors and Niners all day
Yeah,
long.
no, 100%. So the Warriors, in terms of their fan base, like they almost have impossible expectations. I remember when I first got here and you guys lost, and like the Warriors lost the finals the first year I was here, and just like I don't know if it was because I'm from Philly and we aren't used to winning like at the highest level that much.
Yeah.
But I'm like, yo, will you guys just be proud of your team? Like, look,
Oh, it was
look, you're not going to win every year because
Right.
it's really hard.
Oh, no, you're wasting
Like-
Steph Curry's
Right.
prime.
Like, do you guys I remember my man Andy. I remember I said to my man Andy Lou, like before I even knew him that well, I was like, yo, like we got in a little Twitter back and forth. This is when I was early in the Bay. I was like, yo, like you realize winning an NBA championship is hard, right? Like it's not just as easy like you just wake up
Right.
and win it. Like
Right.
you're not going to win it every year.
No, you're not.
That's just the reality of life. And so that's what my like takeaway is from Warriors fans. Like they put impossible expectations on the franchise, but the fact that the Warriors have been able to get 4 and kind of live up to those impossible
Dumas.
standards, that's Steph Curry.
Dumas. I'm 40 years old. Shasky's 40 years old. The Warriors were never on the NBA on NBC.
Right.
They didn't make the playoffs for 4 seasons. They were the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah.
For a long, long time. So for us, I'm like, yo, the Warriors have 4 championships, 4 banners. We got a beautiful center and Chase Center. Like, what? And this all happened in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
Last 10 years, which is crazy when people talk about the Warriors the way they do. So I don't get called. That's crazy. That's a big takeaway because they do say wasted Steph Curry's prime.
It's
wasted it on
ridiculous.
the youngsters. What's going on here? We need to win every single game in the regular season.
Like, look, you can't
usage of
win
Steph-
every game.
Right.
You can't win every game. So that's my takeaway from the whole Warriors fan base. The Niners, I'm not going to lie, a little smugness in the Niners fan base. Like you guys
It's
think,
wine and cheese.
yeah, it's not even wine and cheese because you guys got beer and wings fans for sure.
No, but that was the impersonation for many years
Right.
during the 80s. It
Wine
was
and
they were
cheese.
labeled as the wine and cheese fans.
Soft
Got it.
fans, yeah.
Meaning we're arrogant and condescending.
But we're
and-
whiners when
yeah,
we lose and
whine,
we make excuses.
cry,
Yeah.
entitlement.
49ers are one of the best organizations in football. That's just like an objective fact. But like the stuff I see on social media, you would almost think that the Niners are the Patriots of the
Yeah.
last decade. It's
No.
like y'all haven't won in a while.
No, in a long time.
Like why are y'all so like just arrogant and smug? But they're good, and it's like the Niners, and they. One thing I say about the Niners, you guys talked about who you said. Someone in Philly said, "I've never seen a walk-in like this." All
Oh,
these
yeah,
Niners
yeah,
fans.
yeah.
It was the same thing when the Niners played the Eagles. I think it was like week 2
last year. Yeah,
last year.
2 seasons ago.
I was,
yeah.
at, I was at that game. I did a hit on 95.7. So many Niners fans were in Philly.
Travel.
They travel.
Yep.
So, like, they back up what they preach. Don't get me wrong. And I'm kind of excited for that game between Philly
Philly
and San
and the Niners,
Francisco.
yeah.
It's a rivalry now.
I'm not sure we're going out there for the regular season
I
game.
will go out there when it's not Niners and Eagles because I want to go see your boy at Mitchell and Ness.
Yeah,
That was
Shout
the
out, yeah,
plug.
the Bo Jackson. I wore it the other day. He told us too. By the way, at Mitchell and Ness, he goes outside of Eagles gear, Niners gear sells the most here.
Yeah.
It's not even close.
It's not even close.
Oh, I got a Deion Sanders Mitchell and Ness jersey
Really?
in my closet.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
nice.
No, I could have been in there. I could have spent $10,000 in there, man.
Before we get into the
Emptied out
49er
savings.
quarterback thing, give me the Giants. Give me your Giants opinions on the fans.
Oh, the fans.
Oh, I mean, from what I've gathered over the past couple of years, Giants fans are exhausted. They're just exhausted. They love their team, but they expect more from their ownership. They see the other two teams in the division get these big names and just star-studded rosters, and they're like, why aren't we that? And so I think there's a little spite. So there's a feeling of spitefulness in the Giants fan base, and you can kind of just see it. And even after that 107 win season, it was amazing. That was like the funnest. That like low key might be my funnest season I've been here, just covering
Really?
a team. It was so much fun every day at the ballpark.
Yeah. That ballpark's amazing.
But the Giants fans just seem like we're sick of doing less, trying to have to do more with less.
Right.
Like, come
Yeah.
on.
Yeah.
Come on. Like, there's already a little, like, inferiority complex with, like, L.A., where it's like L.A. gets all the headlines and this. Like, now it's trickling into baseball. Like, why can't we be like that?
Right. Especially when the A's have been doing it that way for so long. And Giants fans have mocked the A's fans for, money ball. You guys will spend money. And then here we are in 2023, and the Giants are operating like a money ball team, which
Yeah.
is kind of wild. So that's interesting. Let's say